Welcome to or back to this channel where I, a mental health therapist, attempt to and eventually will successfully convert this shuttle bus into a mobile therapy office. I've highlighted several uses for this bus in the introduction video, but if you're here now, come watch the struggle. Well, best laid plans of mice and men and women. I got up, it's Saturday, I got up early, super early for me on Saturday. And I was in the bus about 8:30, hoping to beat the heat, which I've been trying to do lately. Do as many hours as I can throughout the week before I have to go to work. Some weeks I have more time than others in the morning. But anyway, so I get to the bus and first thing I sweep up a little bit. Second thing, I remove air conditioning unit so I can get into the toolbox and pull out the tools I'll need. And I can't get the toolbox open. I've been locking it to drive with, and I can only turn the key about 45 degrees. So my best guess is that something shifted and is blocking the unlocking mechanism part. So then it's strapped down, right? I tried to loosen these straps here so I can get it loose enough that I can tip it back. Maybe that'll help remove whatever is blocking. And I don't know how to loosen these straps. I've never used them before. So I'm waiting for my husband to come back from helping out at his mom's house, but that might be closer to 10. So again, there goes the plan to beat the heat, because it is a heat wave right now. But anyway, we live and learn, and we'll figure it out, and there's other days. I'm just still gonna do as much as I can today and see how it goes. But there were some things I thought worth sharing. Okay, so one, I was looking at somebody else's channel yesterday. I'm like, and hers was a solo female build. I'm like, is that what this is? I kind of think so, because I'm doing most of the work all by myself. I've had a couple extra pairs of hands here and there. My husband really, I don't want him to help me so much so that I can figure out how to do a lot of this myself. But he did help me remove the seats, most of them, and showed me how to get some really tough screws out, it didn't work, but there was one that I tried all the quick and easy tips first, like using a thick rubber band and then trying to drill or screw the screw out. That didn't work. And then graduated up to trying to drill it and then put that new channel thing in so the drill can grip it enough to pull it out. That didn't work either. So what he had to do is use an angle grinder to cut an X into it so we could gain traction with that. He's gonna help me with a few more screws, like on the ceiling panel here. I can't figure out the right size, because a 15 seems too small and a 20 seems like the right size, but there's no grip or anything on there. So he's gonna help me out with that today. What else? I had to pay a professional to remove the rear AC because of the Freon. Legally, I can't do it myself. I've seen other people do it anyway, but I'm trying to get fined or nothing. And plus that's probably a skill that it has a learning curve, and I really don't want to get Freon everywhere. So I mean, that was, I took the bus to the mechanic shop first and asked them, what can I do to make this as easy as possible for you guys? What can I remove, etc., etc. He pointed out a few things, got those removed, so it was as easy as possible for them, which he gave me a deal on the price then, which is awesome, because so far I've liked the work that they've done, and they did something on the family car, so I'll probably go back to them for my mechanical needs. Oh, and they did another inspection. I don't think I'm due yet, but I just wanted to know for my own edification if there's any big mechanical things I should be aware of, and in what order. And really the only thing he suggested was think about replacing the tires soon because I think they're like 6 years old or something. And he said I could do that in a couple parts because all of this is just figuring out the order of operations and what order do things need to get done to do it the right way. So obviously mechanical stuff has to be prioritized because if the bus doesn't run, there's no point. So I will bump that up in priority, and we'll see what happens, because I was thinking about replacing the AC would be next. Even though the bus isn't insulated yet, even a little bit of cooling would go a long way, I think. Which is really weird because the rear AC, a lot of people end up keeping those in their shuttle bus conversions for a few reasons. That basically it's already there, you already have the equipment. Even if you have a supplemental AC, what's the point of, reducing resources that you have if you can build around it? What are some other reasons? Well, theirs seem really efficient. Mine, even I drove it like the day or 2 days before I got the AC removed in a really hot day, and it had gotten up to 115 degrees with all the windows and doors closed. And then even after over an hour driving, with the rear AC and the front AC on, it never got below 93. So that was awful. It seems to have been the same thing from last summer before I took the insulation out, most of it. It really didn't get below 90 something. I don't remember what that was, but I know it was 90 or above. Even though it works, I had it checked out after that, and he said it was fine, but I don't feel it. So I'm not so sad to see the rear AC go. I do have to figure out, however, what to replace it with, and that's where I've been coming up against this mini split or drop-in RV ceiling AC, roof AC. And there are pros and cons to both. It seems like a lot of people doing conversions are doing mini splits, have been for a few years. But I've come across a few channels lately where in the last month or two they've posted about this new brand and have really extolled its virtues. So now I'm not sure, I might go with that one. Really expensive though, so I'm glad that I've been saving the money that I've been making from like making jewelry and things, because I don't want a lot of the bus costs to come out of our living costs for the family. I want it to just be extra stuff. That way I can justify a little bit more. But also, again, I really want this to feel like this is my bus, my project. I know this thing inside and out. And I feel like I'm getting there, actually. I'm more comfortable just pulling and yanking and tearing stuff apart. We'll see how that translates into building and prettifying. But I noticed, I was thinking about this, I think it was last night. Initially, I was pretty hesitant to kind of just dig right in there and get the thing done. And I thought at first that was like, I don't have, construction experience. I've not really used a lot of power tools beyond a drill before. And I think those are true. And there's been, in my history, a pattern of if I start something, basically I get kind of bumped out of the way and somebody does it for me. Like, I'm doing it wrong. The other person can do it better. And it's been a little bit hard for me to overcome that, even in the absence of that person doing that now. It's just old learned behavior stuff that feels like I'm rewiring. I'm rewriting, hopefully, that default setting. Which brings me to another idea. I've been kind of like planning and organizing. First it was a course, and then like everybody does a course, and there were a few reasons, like who's going to sit at a computer anymore, just watch video after video after video, especially if I'm not like super entertaining or captivating. I have a ton of really good information, but I'm not gonna spoon feed it to you with a spoonful of sugar either. It's just, it is what it is. And I think there's room for all of the feelings, not just the ones that would make watching those kinds of videos enjoyable. Helpful, useful, yes. Enjoyable, you kind of have to want to do it. So all that to say, I moved from the idea of a course into an app, which I think is probably a much better fit. And there isn't as many like emotional intelligence skills apps out there at this point. There are some, but mine would be much more specific towards emotional intelligence skills for highly sensitive women, for maybe anxious attachment style, trauma informed for sure, a lot of that, and really just a whole bunch of skills pulled from different types of therapy that are easily incorporated into one's own life when they're doing their own healing work, because goodness knows how expensive therapy can be. I've been on both sides of that. And so I think I'm going to, while I'm working on the bus anyway, because I don't have a whole lot of time, I have a whole lot of hands in the fire, I think I might share kind of the basic structure outline of what those things would be that would go into the app eventually. And that includes talking about how I came to be in the mental health field and why I'm so very passionate about people having the tools and skills and strategies that they need to, one, make sense of things in their lives, mostly other people are really hard to understand, and our reactions maybe to the things that have happened in our lives and the other people in them. And what else? Yeah, ways to feel better, because couldn't we all use that? Let's see. So I'm going to be probably much more transparent than I've ever been, outside of like snippets of conversations one-on-one with people that I already know and trust. I'd say be gentle, but I can handle it. It's just a very different feeling going into this knowing that most people would probably see the things that I'm going to share as I don't think most people would share some of the things that I'm going to share, because it would feel very vulnerable, and if you haven't done or begun to a great extent your own healing work, someone could use that as ammunition to hurt that person. But yeah, I think good luck trying. Other people have tried and failed. So yeah, I think I'm good. I think this is definitely kind of a year for me to continue challenge myself to be outside of my comfort zone so that I can continue growing and not stay in one place, not be stagnant. What else? I think that's pretty much it for now. Maybe in another video I'll share the goals that I have, hopefully before winter, but it's a long list, so if it doesn't all get done before winter, at least I'll have given it a good try. And I am a bit discouraged with how long the demo stuff has taken, because like I know people who could just knock it out like quickly. That's not me apparently. And I don't think it's the materials in the bus either, because that's another thing. I wanted to pull out the windows, like just pull out every window, and then that like white sheeting that was there, to pull it out in the chunks that they were put in, so that one, it'd be easier, and two, I'd have a template to use for whatever I'm gonna use to put that back, or surface it again. Doesn't work that way. Apparently not in this bus anyway. Other people I've seen, not this one. And I think that has to do with the double-sided adhesive that they use to stick with in the first place, and how that in places has reacted to extreme heat and in some places lots of water. So more or less everything's coming out in chunks, and tiny pieces, which it is what it is. I am really happy that I have the metal ribs. I think I've talked about those before. Not every shuttle bus has those. And that this, which I thought at first, amateur, I thought it was the inside of the fiberglass shell. It's not. It's like a metal, very thin metal layer. So I'm glad that I have those. And if what that takes is more time in the prep and demo work, then that's what it is. And that's what I'll do. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good update for now. Continue watching if you're interested in seeing the changes made, and yeah, just know going forward there's going to be a little bit of a different, I guess, dynamic. It's a dynamic with myself, it's a dynamic with the camera, but I hope you understand what I mean by there's going to be more, I think, exploration into, like I said, some of those things that I want to share and like put forth into the world, so that whoever comes across it, even if they just find one thing that's helpful in their everyday lives to feel better, then like, ooh, yeah, it makes a big difference. All right, I mean, if you have any questions. Okay, quick update. This is the list of all the things I would like to get done before winter. Time and money will be obstacles. But anyway, also, Hubs texted and told me how to loosen the straps. So I was able to rock the toolbox back a little bit and push real hard on the key, and I got it open. Woo! So it's a small things in life. Okay, so what I need done is to cut somewhere here and here, so about there, a 23 by 23 hole, and then to create welding a frame to carry the weight of the drop-in AC on the roof. I'll back up in case that helps get a visual. I'm including a video of the chat session that I had with the company that makes the new drop-in RV AC, because from what I understand, they use some components of a mini split that a lot of users really like and put it into a drop-in RV AC / heater that other people like for the installation purposes. It's like a self-contained unit, whereas the mini split, you have to have the inside part that blows the cold air and then the outside condenser compression part. And watching other people's builds, it seems like kind of a pain to figure out where to put everything. And you have to sometimes build like a rack to hold the AC, and it drips outside, and it's just kind of inconvenient. So we'll see. This might be what I go with.